Alright, so we've covered this new features of CypeCAD, so let's go to Cype 3D. Okay, Cype 3D also have some new features. Let's open our Cype menu again, the new Cype menu that you already know, and let's run Cype 3D. Okay, so Cype 3D have two features. They are features related to the fire resistance check of the steel and wooden structure. Okay, so I have here one example. Let me open it. So let's see what we have new here. Okay, before I show these new features, let me show you a little bit how we decide if you want to check or not the fire resistance of our structure here at Cype 3D, and how we select the codes, and then how we introduce the data here. Okay, so here in the project menu, in the general data, okay, we have an option that is this one here, fire resistance. Okay, so here we can select this option, and for both steel and timber we have here options to decide if you want to check or not the fire resistance of the sections of our project. Okay, the first situation in this case of steel is do not consider the fire situation. That could be one option. It means we will not analyze the fire resistance, we will not check the fire resistance. Okay, the second situation is, according to the code that I've selected, I can check the fire resistance. Okay, if I decide to check the fire resistance, then I'll have I must add some information to check it. For example, the required resistance, okay, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, according to the code I've selected. And if I want, I can also cover the sections with a specific material to get a better fire resistance of the structure. Okay, or I can select this option that is without fireproof coating. Okay, and there's a third option that is calculate the critical temperature in a fire situation. And in this case, we will have this temperature, this critical temperature, and then we can check comparing this critical temperature with a bibliography or a material from a manufacturer, a document of a manufacturer that indicates which is the critical temperature of the cover of this manufacturer. Okay, so according to the technique that will be used to add this cover in the structure. Okay, so this is something that we already had in our software since some years ago, but now we have new features that are related to this part that I will show to you. Okay, before we see this option, let's do something here. Let's suppose that I have a required resistance of R60 or 60 minutes, but I will try to check if I will try to design a structure without fireproof coating. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's accept here, let's accept again, and let's analyze our structure. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, my sections, they are already analyzed, or in terms of structural resistance, in terms of forces. Okay, so let's just check here and let's see the results that we have. Okay, there are some parameters related to the buckling analysis that were not decided, but no problem. Let's see what happens in terms of fire resistance of the structure. Okay, so just designing the bars, calculating here the different parameters, and here we'll see the results. Okay, the first thing that we see here in the final design report is that the fire resistance check has been kept in mind during this analysis. Okay, so yeah, we checked the resistance, the fire resistance. To see these results here in the analysis step, we have this option, check elements. Okay, and we'll see that some elements of our structure are in the green color and some elements are in red color. Okay, red color. Those that are in green, we know that all the parameters that were selected are okay. Okay, so for example, this bar, we can see that everything is okay. Or in the others that are in red color, something is not okay, something is not checked. Okay, in this case, if you see this box with all the parameters, first in bold you can see the reference of this bar and its length, we can see the layer, we can see the type of section, and then we have two blocks of information: the outside temperature and the fire situation. Okay, the outside temperature, it means that we are using just 28% of the resistance of our section. Okay, so in the situation without fire, this bar, it's okay, and we have here a bar that is much bigger than we need, because we are using just 28% of the resistance of this bar. The problem is if we have a fire situation during 60 minutes in this case, that our bar will not be safe. Okay, because here then we'll have 194% of the maximum that we should have in this situation, and it means that if we do not protect this bar with a cover, a specific material, we will not have a safe situation here. Okay, so what we can do here to change the situation and add a cover here. Let me show you how to do that, and here is the point where we have the new features of Cype 3D. Okay, to do that, here in the bar option we have one option that is fire resistance. Okay, so I can click here, select one or more bars. Okay, and then I will open this option to define the parameters related to the fire resistance of this bar. Okay, the first new feature that we've introduced here at Cype 3D that is related to fire resistance is here. Okay, is this little button here. Here we can select which faces of our section are exposed to the fire. Okay, so we can have a situation that all the faces of the section are exposed. We can have a situation where the section is connected to another surface, maybe a slab, for example, in the top, and then expose it in one fire. We have here different situations that we can decide how this bar is exposed to the fire. Okay, so which face of the bar is exposed to the fire. Okay, in my situation here that I have an isolated bar, let's imagine we don't have any wall here, any slab, in this case we don't have slab, but no protection here. I will get this option here that is everything here is exposed, but we could select that. Okay, once we select it, we have two options. Okay, and here we will see the second new feature that we have. The first thing is I would like to add the fire protection, or the fire cover, the cover according to the configuration entry in the general data of the job. It means that information that I've decided here before, that could be something general for the project. Imagine I would like to add to all the elements of the project, or for different elements of the project, or I can configure a fire resistance check especially to this bar. Okay, in both situations I will have the option to add not just the parameter that we are checking here, but also a cover. Okay, and there are different types of covers. Okay, could be fiber boards, could be plaster boards, mineral fiber sprays, different types of cement mortars with vermiculite. Okay, and there is one option, and this is the new feature, that is the intumescent paint. Okay, something very popular. Okay, the nice point of this option is that here you can find information, technical information, from different manufacturers that produce this kind of cover. Okay, the point is here we have a list of reference of different manufacturers, and for each manufacturer you have different materials that you can select. Okay, and then once you select this material, you can analyze the structure again and see if it's enough or not. Okay, but it's a little bit better than this. The point is they're not just these two manufacturers with these two products. Okay, with this little button here, you can access the OpenBIM database, and the OpenBIM database, it's a huge database of technical data. In this case, we can see some manufacturers that produce intumescent paints, but there are other parts of this Cype software where you can find this kind of menu where you can download information from other manufacturers for different purposes. Okay, and here in this case you can see that North and Sherwin-Williams were downloaded before. I can see that the button that is download is blocked because I already downloaded. Okay, so I've selected these manufacturers in the past in this computer. Okay, I have options here to update these catalogs. Maybe North or Sherwin-Williams have more products, so I can come here and update the information, or I can delete it from my computer. Okay, or I can select another manufacturer and download the catalog of other manufacturers. As you can see here, it's quite easy to do it. I just have to select the manufacturer, and now I will have more manufacturers available in my computer, and then I can use the materials in my project. Okay, so if you miss a manufacturer here, you can use this button here to send us any suggestion about the manufacturers that are popular, are common in your country, in your region. Okay, or you can also show this to manufacturers that maybe you already know, suggesting them to contact us here at Cype to introduce their materials here in Cype 3D. Okay, once I select the manufacturers that I wanna download, as you saw before, I can finish this option, and you see that this list will be updated with the new manufacturers. For example, here, if I change to Hempel have two options here, and if I choose to International Paint, we'll have here one option. Okay, I'll try to use one of them. For example, I'll take this one, and then I will accept. Okay, of course, with this change, my structure is different because now this bar have a different situation. Okay, here I can see that this bar have a fire resistance parameter that is 60 minutes and have an intumescent paint, but this one it's not covered. Okay, just to show the difference here, you can see in the last line of the box this little detail that was changed. Okay, so let me analyze the structure again. Let's analyze it again. We'll not check the sections according, well, we'll not design the sections, we'll just check the sections, and let's see what happened with this cover that we just added in this bar. Of course, another option would be change this section to a bigger section, but we saw that in terms of resistance, in mechanical resistance, there was more than enough the section that we have, so it's a little bit better if we change, we add a cover as we are trying to do here. Okay, so let's check, and in this case, let's see what happens. As you can see here, now it's green. Okay, and in both situations, okay, in the normal situation, it means the outside temperature, we still have the 28% because it doesn't change, but in the fire situation of 60 minutes, here we have some data. Okay, we can see that the quantity or the thickness of this intumescent paint that is called in this case Firetex FX6010, it's 0.871 millimeters, and with this thickness we will reach 99.7% of the DC ratio when we are talking about a fire situation of 60 minutes. Okay, and a critical temperature of 780 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is how we can introduce these materials to Cype 3D and consider these covers, these intumescent paints in these sections here at Cype 3D. Okay, we saw how to introduce this option for one specific bar, one isolated bar, but another option would be add the painting in all the elements, okay? And to do that, we can come back here in the general data, for example, and instead of selecting here without fireproof coating, we can do the same thing that we did for one bar to the whole structure. For example, I'll take the same one, Firetex 6010. You can see here that the same materials are here. We have the same button here to download the same catalogs here. Okay, I will accept. Okay, and now if I analyze again, let's see what happens here. Let's see the results, in this case also related to the fire resistance, but in this case considering this cover. Just let's wait a little bit to see the results. It's not a big structure, so we'll have these results in just some seconds. Yeah, here we have the final design report. The fire resistance check has been kept in mind during the analysis. Okay, and here if we see the results, the elements, let's see the results. We have more bars that are okay. Okay, so we can see that all these bars were okay. So for example, this one, now we can see that we have a thickness of 1 centimeter and a little bit more than 1 centimeter. Okay, this one it's a little bit less than 1 centimeter. Okay, so the software tells to us which is the quantity necessary to reach this fire resistance. And in this case here, we don't have a situation that is possible. We must try to find a different combination, maybe changing the material, changing the manufacturer, changing the technique used, using another type of protection, or of course we can also change the section, but we'll try to do not do that. If we have a cover, it probably is going to be a better solution. Okay, but the point is, now you can select the faces that are exposed to fire, and you can also select different manufacturers of intumescent paint to cover your sections and then reach a better fire resistance of your structure here with Cype 3D. Okay.